The Great Depression is an economic crisis that hit many countries after the crash of the New York stock market on October 29, 1929, Black Tuesday, where around 16 million shares were eventually sold for practically nothing. Canada was one of the countries severely affected because of its ties with the United States. The Great Depression is worth knowing due to the falling of stock market prices that affected many people around the world and resulted to many left in poverty as well as long-term suffering. Some people did not believe that the Wall Street stock market crash caused the Great Depression. Rather, they believed that it was the wheat crop crash in 1928. Pulp and paper, wood and wheat revealed 2/3 of Canadian exports and was the main reason behind Canada's success. Failure and decline in request for these exports would mean trouble for Canada due to the lack of income generation from such large industries. Black Thursday, October 24, 1920, was when the panic and desperation struck a week following the sudden wave that had been introduced. The event was significant because there had been drops in value in the stock market once in a while, but it never lasted long. Stock values would usually go back to normal, but not this time. There was belief that the drop in commodity prices and decline in economic demand, as well as credit, was the path leading to declines in global trade, therefore raising unemployment rates. Companies all over the world went bankrupt due to the shrinking of the economy or due to the attempt of cutting back on costs to prevent bankruptcy. Bankruptcy meant cut wages for the employed as well as loss of jobs. Working for close to nothing was not ideal, but due to desperation of generating income for their families, people kept their jobs. In relation to Canada, this was important because approximately 1 in 5 people started to depend on government relief due to the 30% unemployment decline in 1933, which maintained its position of above 12% until 1939. By cause of the unexpected crash, individuals in poverty had no choice but to seek help because there was the possibility of some losing their lives since they weren't able to afford seeking medical attention. The prairies or Western Canadian provinces received the hardest hit when it came to the global world trade decline. First, by the 3-year depression, with wheat prices dropping at a great rate. Then, the drought, which would be a major setback progress-wise for the economy, and by approximately 2 years at a high cost for Canada. Spending, whether public or private, fell by 42%. The drought descended future possible plans to bounce back from such a tragedy that had hit Western provinces but would not be the end of hardships. The hail, drought, and grasshopper plague, which was a grasshopper infestation outbreak as a result of perfect hot weather conditions in Saskatchewan, led to crop failure and showcased the lowest price of wheat recorded in history. There was a 90% decrease in provincial income, which left 66% relying on government relief. By 1932, the prairies had gone bankrupt. For the employed and those who owned property, it was constant hustle of trying to maintain ownership, though standard living had decreased. Water shortage and harsh farming techniques were what created the Dust Bowl. During the same time period, the Dust Bowl contributed to the migration of farmers from rural to urban areas in search for employment. The Dust Bowl had a negative impact on farming and harvesting. Although the issue seemed to affect the province, the Prime Minister could not do much to assist. Neither could the government, so men were sent to relief camps. Depression led to the birth of many political reform movements, and did not only result in negative incomes, but introduced an unemployment insurance scheme and the wheat board created to establish a minimum wheat price. The outgoing and incoming prime ministers Mackenzie King and R.B. Bennett tried to fix the damage done by the Depression, but were unsuccessful. When the economy suffers, there's high demand for health care as a result of high stress levels. Those with food exchanged it for medical services. Overall, the Great Depression was an important historical event because Canada went through endless hardships by virtue of being the United States' top trading partner. Cuts on exports led to economic decline and later shaped the economic system. Lastly, there were beneficial policies agreed upon.